Now, the News Award, sponsored by Mercy Corps, this is for a single news report in print or broadcast media that has had great impact in increasing UK audiences' understanding of the developing world. Let's see the nominees.
Aleppo, Race to Save Rena.
On Aleppo streets, a truck races through traffic. We follow them because we've seen a man leap inside, carrying a limp little girl in his arms. But perhaps because our car is new, he now rushes towards us for help.
No, where are they taking it?
Rena is 4.
Beginning, just come in, quick.
Go to the hospital, he says. Guys, she's choking.
What happened?
She was on the balcony at home when a bullet struck from nowhere, he explains. She's struggling to breathe.
Somali Justice.
The men who sit on Somalia's death row are brought to this little tree. They are tied to the tree and shot dead.
dareenkiina suu yahay qofku waad arkaysaanba in hortiina lagu dilay
waxba uu arkay manager dareenkiin naf walba waxay galabstay un baan laga jirayaa Soomaa waxba uu arkay u jixinjimeen.
He shows me the bullet holes in the tree. They are shot dead by the family of the victim. It sounds like revenge killing, an eye for an eye. But here in Somalia, this is justice.
We live in fear of a massacre. Mary Colvin's powerful account of a district where 28,000 people were trapped described for the first time the scale of suffering in Syria.
They call it the widow's basement. Crammed amid makeshift beds and scattered belongings are frightened women and children trapped in the horror of Homs, the Syrian city shaken by 2 weeks of relentless bombardment. Among the 300 huddling in this wood factory cellar in the besieged district of Baba Amir is 20-year-old Noor, who lost her husband and her home to the shells and rockets. We had had nothing but sugar and water for 2 days, and my husband went to try and find food. It was the last time she saw him.
Well, the judges found this a very difficult decision. It was a great challenge to select these nominees with a rich and varied range of excellent entries this year. They felt that the quality was very high overall and that the submissions were very considered, combining powerful reporting with extraordinary stories. Sadly, one of the nominees, Marie Colvin, was killed just days after writing that article that you heard a clip from. She was a courageous foreign correspondent who believed passionately in the need to report on conflicts from the front line. A career that spanned 30 years, she covered stories from around the world for the Sunday Times. She was committed to reporting on the realities of war, especially its effects on civilians. That was exactly what she was doing in the city of Homs at the time of her death. She felt that her job was to bear witness, write about situations, write about people in a way that gave audiences a better understanding of world events. She once said, "These are people who have no voice. I feel I have a moral responsibility towards them, that it would be cowardly to ignore them." The judges wish to express that Marie's name will forever tragically be associated with journalism and Syria. She sought to report the tragedy of conflict with a humanity we should all aspire to. Please welcome Mervyn Lee, Executive Director of Mercy Corps, to reveal the winner of this year's News Award.
Thank you, John. At Mercy Corps, we are very proud to be here tonight as part of the One World Media event on the 25th anniversary, particularly so as we appreciate the value of telling a story. We work in some of the world's toughest places, including Syria and Somalia, and we know that it's really important to tell people what the circumstances people find in their lives are, what it's like to live in conflict, in tension, in crisis. And we thoroughly appreciate the cooperation we have with the media and the brave journalists, and no one more braver than Maria, who sometimes have to give their lives in the cause. And tonight's nominees are all worthy of the award, and the award goes to Somali Justice.
third Somalia story tonight. Seems we are in love with Somalia. Being up against Mary Colvin, we weren't expecting to win this at all, to be honest. So I would like to thank the jury and the One World Media Awards for recognizing our story. And also I would like to thank Channel 4 News for, sorry, for investing in us and trusting us to do such important stories from Somalia. In particular, my editor Ben and Naveen, the foreign editor, head of Foreign News, and Rob, and also Theresa May, who produced this film and worked very hard to spot all the interesting parts of our story, and Aggie, who produced, and finally Ahmed, the cameraman, who was sweating. I was just sitting around drinking lots of tea. But he was the one who was running around and filming and everything. So I'd like to thank everybody who was involved in this story, and also the local journalist, Nuh Musa, who helped us realize this film. I also would like to say this, the grave diggers, I found back home yesterday, and they had their busiest day about 10 days ago, where 13 alleged Islamist fighters were executed in one day. So they were very busy on that particular day. And as far as our main character, who we didn't see in the film, he's still in prison waiting execution. It's too complicated story to explain, but he's still there waiting, and we don't know what's going to happen, whether he will be executed or not. Once again, I'd like to thank everyone, and thank you very much.
As he is all the time in front of the camera doing all the talk, I think he did all the talking. Thank you all.
Well, I confess I feel a marginal conflict of interest coming on me, but in truth, it's worth mentioning that Jamal is somebody who has emerged yet again from one of these university courses. He was at Kingston, and I think without that start, we wouldn't have the star reporter that we have in our midst at Channel 4 News. He has produced some most extraordinary insights into real life in Somalia. Perhaps one of the most remarkable was to see Somali Olympic athletes training under fire in Mogadishu. He's a brave, mad character who has fathered 6 children, which I find also equally remarkable.